In the heart of the verdant forests of Kashmir, Yusuf found himself sprinting through the underbrush, his breath coming in, sharp gasps as fear clawed at him. The moon hung high in the sky, its silvery light casting elongated shadows, shifting the world into something otherworldly. Behind him, a monstrous crashing sound haunted the night, a creature unseen, yet palpably present. "Lucas, we need to run," Yusuf gasped as he felt a chilling draft behind him, accompanied by faint, whispering voices drifting through the trees. It was as if the forest itself was alive, warning him to flee. "Yeah," he stumbled, the ground giving way beneath him, as he fell, narrowly escaping a dark silhouette that seemed to reach out with shadowy fingers. Panic surged through him as he pushed himself back onto his feet, adrenaline surging in his veins. Just ahead, Yusuf spotted Lucas, his childhood friend, emerging through the thicket, his face pale. "Yusuf, there you are," he called out, breathless and wide-eyed. They huddled behind a gnarled tree, both vulnerable and filled with dread. "I don't know why we thought this would be a good idea. Come back here, of all places. Something isn't right, Lucas. Something is wrong with these woods." The forest whispered secrets, its stories tangled with their childhood memories. Drawn by an inexplicable force, they had returned to explore their past, but instead, they had awakened something lurking in the shadows. As they stumbled upon an abandoned train yard, the eerie silence was punctured by their footsteps. The rusted train cars loomed before them, monuments of lost time. "You remember the stories about the ghost that haunts this place?" Lucas said, half laughing, trying to mask the fear in his voice. "Yeah, I remember," Yusuf replied, glancing around nervously. The atmosphere turned thick with an unnatural stillness as they pressed deeper into the yard. Suddenly, a flicker of movement caught Yusuf's eye. A flimsy figure of a girl appeared between the cars, her face twisted with sorrow. "Help me. Anyway, she whispered, her voice a haunting melody. The boy stood frozen, transfixed. Panic erupted as a deafening screech of metal ripped through the air, a train whistle echoing from the past, wrenching their eyes from the spectral vision. The pair turned and bolted, the ground trembling under their hurried steps. As shadows lengthened around them, they found themselves on desolate train tracks, winding through the forest. Suddenly, a shadowy stranger emerged from the tree line, his face obscured. "You shouldn't be here. Anyway, not at night. There's something that hunts these woods, something you need to leave behind." Despite their terror, they dismissed his warning, but as they turned to leave, branches snapped behind them, and the sensation of being watched clawed at their minds. They dashed into the night, terror propelling them deeper into the woods. In a desperate search for safety, they stumbled upon an old library hidden beneath thick vines and moss. The moment they stepped inside, the aura of knowledge mixed with dread enveloped them. Walls lined with books whispered tales of anguish and heartbreak, horrors of the past intertwined with the history of their families. The librarian, a stooped old man with sunken eyes, began recounting stories of loss seeped in blood. After the war, spirits became restless. Anyway, they linger here, waiting for closure. Sometimes they take on familiar-faced people like you who carry their shame. The dim lights flickered ominously. Suddenly, a burst of energy slammed the heavy oak doors shut, trapping them within as darkness pulled around the room, shadows stretching dangerously closer. In that moment of despair, Yusuf was thrust back to an earlier time, a subway tunnel in New York City. The air thick with foreboding, unease. He recalled the eyes watching him from the darkness. The night spent consumed by paranoia, wondering if he truly left his past behind, only to find it resurfacing. Driven to confront their demons, Yusuf and Lucas retraced their steps to the ruined church where the girl had first appeared. They knew they had to embrace the anguish tied to their lineage and past traumas. As they stepped inside, shadows danced menacingly around them. The forlorn girl appeared once more, her figure ethereal yet stricken with sorrow. "You must understand, I am bound to this place just as you are, your ancestors. Anyway, they tied me here, loosened the bonds, let me go." she pleaded, her voice resonating within the decaying walls. At the climax of their confrontation, a shadow materialized from the darkness, a terrifying figure. Forged from fear, guilt, and remorse, it lunged for them. But as they stood united, they grabbed hold of their shared history, realizing they couldn't win without confronting the past. With trembling hands, they opened their hearts. They bore witness to each other's painful collective guilt. In a moment of catharsis, Yuri spoke, breaking the ominous silence. "We acknowledge you. We remember. You are not forgotten." As the words left his lips, light flooded the dark sanctuary, and the shadowy figure began to dissipate. A weight lifting from the boys' shoulders. As dawn broke over the forest, they emerged from the chaos, exhausted yet relieved. The ghostly girl watched, her face now tranquil, a soft smile touching her lips. "Thank you. Anyway, your kindness sets me free," she whispered before fading into the morning light. Yet her essence remained woven into their memories, a bittersweet reminder of what they'd faced together. Back in town, they wandered aimlessly, the locals unaware that the past still haunted those woods. As they turned to gaze back at the lush green expanse, bathed in the warmth of day, a fleeting shadow brushed against Thema, lingering whisper in the trees, echoing the secrets tucked deep within the heart of Kashmir. With a shared glance, Yusuf whispered, "We need to share their stories. This land deserves to breathe." And remember, as they prepared to leave, the shadow flickered at the edge of their vision, a warning, a promise, remnant of things left unresolved. They exchanged one last look at the woods, the faintest echo of whispers swirling through the air, suggesting their journey was far from complete.